Welcome to Module 5, Part 2. We will now move on to monitoring and evaluation of the pre-primary subsector. Having the right monitoring and evaluation, or M&E, mechanisms in place is critical to ensure that the ESP is on track to achieving its results. Specifically, for the pre-primary subsector, a well-functioning M&E system is essential in order to promote and maintain pre-primary programs and services that are relevant and high quality, and to ensure that the most disadvantaged groups are sufficiently targeted. First, we will have an overview of the concepts of monitoring and evaluation, and then look at the actual M&E process. The M&E tools used in the ESP will be reviewed in Part 3. So what exactly is ESP monitoring and evaluation? Monitoring is the process in which information about plan implementation is gathered and analyzed. The purpose is to identify the strengths and weaknesses in order to take corrective action during the course of plan implementation to be able to still reach the intended objectives of the plan. Monitoring is mainly carried out by using the various indicators chosen to reach objectives and targets, which make up the M&E results framework. This information is analyzed and presented as results in annual performance reports discussed during annual reviews. A critical aspect of monitoring is that it gives an opportunity to make needed policy readjustments and redesign. For pre-primary, these types of changes may occur frequently because implementation issues such as lack of a robust financial management and weak coordination across subsector levels are often greatly underestimated during policy planning. Regular progress monitoring is therefore important to feed into corrections and improvements. Previously discussed implementation oversight structures can be useful in supporting this. At certain moments, special, more in-depth evaluation reports can be requested that usually relate to overall goals and impacts of the plan rather than more direct management questions, and are produced by external experts. This is what ESP evaluation is about. More specifically, ESP evaluation is typically undertaken at the midterm and/or at the end of plan implementation and provides a more in-depth analysis on whether the plan has fulfilled its objectives and the lessons that can be derived from implementation. This subsequently informs decision-making for the next planning cycle. In a nutshell, the plan's M&E helps to guide plan implementation, create accountability, learn what works well and what does not work well, and improve policy and practice. Now let's look at the actual M&E process. The M&E cycle consists of several monitoring processes. Regular day-to-day monitoring, carried out by program managers using simple progress reports. For pre-primary, this could also be done by school head teachers, but representatives of pre-primary departments and inspectors should also be trained to monitor pre-primary programs in the field. Periodic review by the Strategic Monitoring Committee. Short standardized performance reports should be written by the pre-primary department, based on guidelines from the Strategic Monitoring Committee. There may also need to be information gathered on private providers of pre-primary education. Reports will be submitted to the Monitoring Committee for review to identify problems and recommend corrective actions. Annual joint sector review with stakeholders. During the last quarter of the fiscal year, the Monitoring Committee will prepare a consolidated annual performance report based on the reports provided by the various departments. This will be used for the annual joint sector review meeting with a wide variety of stakeholders where achievements and issues in plan implementation will be assessed. It is important for the pre-primary subsector for there to be a diverse group of stakeholders, including other ministries, NGOs, and private providers for the annual review. These stakeholders will agree on improvements to be made in order for objectives and targets to be reached. The annual review meeting then provides a basis for preparing the annual operational plan budget of the following year. Midterm review is an opportunity for a more careful examination of results obtained to decide if targets and programs need to be revised during the second term of the plan. Special evaluation reports may be commissioned at this time. This provides a good opportunity for evaluation of the pre-primary subsector, especially if there has been a change or there is a foreseen change to ECE policy. Final review and evaluation looks back on the entire plan, evaluating the final impact and outcomes and the reasons why certain results have been achieved and not others, to derive lessons for policy revision and preparing the next plan. These results are also critical for developing the next ESA. The pre-primary department and stakeholders should make sure that the evaluation methodology includes relevant pre-primary concerns.